Good day, everyone. Thanks for joining us today for this webinar. I'm with my colleague Guillaume Lachance, who will assist me today with this webinar. I'll let Guillaume introduce himself, and then I'll introduce myself, and we'll start with the webinar.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Michael. My name is Guillaume. I've been with Comsoft now for almost 6 years. Started off as a business analyst, project manager. I now manage the professional services team and the whole team of business analysts who accompany our clients with their projects related to Fidelio. I have quite a few years experience in manufacturing and different service industries. It's always a pleasure to work with our new or existing clients in better understanding, their business context and trying to find solutions together. So I hope some of the content today will be enlightening to most of you.
Okay, thanks, Guillaume. So my name is Michael. I've been with Fidelio for 17 years now as a sales analyst. So my job is to present a solution to new clients and make sure that their needs are fulfilled with our ERP solution. During the webinar, we have also a colleague, Aude. She's in the chat room. So if anything comes up regarding technical issues or whatever, if you have questions, you can ask her in the chat. And also a replay of this webinar will be sent out to everyone probably by tomorrow. So I will share now the PowerPoint presentation, and we'll start with a quick presentation of Fidelio ERP. So Fidelio ERP is, we're in business for 43 years now. We are a full-scale ERP for small and medium-sized businesses, so that's what we do on a daily basis. And Fidelio is really a 100% cloud-based solution. So everything is in the cloud. It's a SaaS-based solution, meaning that you rent the ERP and everything is hosted on Microsoft Azure. So no need to buy expensive servers and equipment. Everything is in the cloud. You open up your laptop, you log in on the web page, and you work. So it's as easy as this with Fidelio. We want to make ERP accessible for all small and medium-sized businesses. So the content of our webinar today, which is entitled How to Overcome Supply Chain Challenges with New Technologies. So we will talk about supply chain challenges, mainly for the F&B industry. We will also explain why it's time to take the digital turn, and a couple of examples or insights or how to overcome these challenges with technology. Okay, so let's get started. So a couple of statistics or facts that we did some research, and only to cover them one by one with you guys. So according to Forbes and CDB News, here are some challenges that had significant impact on supply chain since 2029. So it has been an increase in shipping and fuel costs. So that's a fact that affects everybody. Major supply issues like shipping disruption, container shortage for people who are buying from offshore. COVID, every part of the economy is affected with challenges regarding staff. It's really hard to have personnel and qualified people to work in companies. So it has a great impact on all of the supply chains. Some are also due to shortage in key products, so like semiconductors, for example. We had also the environment that had an impact, like flooded regions, and as an example. Also, limited access not only to ingredients but also to other supplies such as packaging, for example. So all of that made like really a great impact for small and medium-sized businesses. So it has significant impact. And on top of that, in 2022, we also had the war, and still has the war in Ukraine, that has great impact on everything, supplies, energy supplies, food supplies, and all that. So it's really a challenge nowadays to face and to be more efficient. So that's what we want to talk about with you today. I don't know, Guillaume, if you wanted to add something on this slide.
Yeah, just a quick thing. I think what we've seen across the board with everybody, and especially in the food and bev industry, is a big disruption that started with the onset of the pandemic, and it really tested a lot of the organizations in their flexibility and agility in order to retool on the run and make sure they remained competitive and diversified enough to overcome challenges of closures and different consumption habits that changed throughout the pandemic. And so that put extended pressures now as we exit that 2 to 3 year period, because what happens is companies were already stretched, and all of these factors that Michael just went through just exacerbated all of those difficulties in doing business. And so that combined with the staffing shortages definitely brings all kinds of challenges to everyday operations. And so how do we remain competitive in that environment, and how do we remain agile and able to adapt quickly while maintaining sufficient margins? It's not only just a question of surviving, but trying to recuperate some of that lost profit margin.
Okay. Thanks, Guillaume. So move on to our next slide. So why it's time to take the digital turn. So often what is seen in small and medium-sized businesses, the matter of fact is we can no longer afford to avoid investing in technology, because what we just said, shorting of staff, stress on all of the supply chain. So for sure, technology will improve the way that you're able to see what's going on with your supply chain, with raw material coming in, maybe stuff that you need to ship to customers and all that. So it's a must to invest in technology. Companies responsible for producing, storing, and distributing or selling food and beverage, they must be aware of what's going on 24/7. So you don't have any downtime in that industry. So that's why it's really key to have information system that will give you the good information at the right time. And also now, the next step is really to connect everything, because now with web technologies, web services, shop floor, new equipments, all those things can be connected together and to generate tons of information for business owners to make sure that they would be more efficient. It will also help you in your labor costs. So more than technology can do by themselves, we can automate processes. So that's a huge factor. And this is why now it's really important to focus on those kinds of new technology and be aware of what's going on. So again, I don't know if Guillaume, you wanted to add something on this slide.
Yes, no, I agree. As I was saying, how do we remain agile and able to adapt? I think it's by, getting those tools, incorporating those tools in our everyday operations, and especially, having the vision, right? They say hindsight's always 20/20, right? So how do we look forward and, try to predict what the future might be and what kind of flexibility we might need in the future? So it's by incorporating these tools and special technologies that will allow us to adapt quickly to a changing marketplace.
Okay. Thanks, Guillaume. So moving forward, we're going to give you some examples on how to overcome these challenges with technology. So First, with a good ERP system like Fidelio, we're going to be able to plan, to forecast, and to improve visibility with an ERP. So old system or disparate system or manual processes will obviously lead to errors, inaccuracies, and also the fact that you would not have a good idea or where is your stock, where is in your inventory, where is your raw material coming in, will it be there on time to do your production or to ship goods to your clients. So as you might know, the cost of entering the same data more than once is is really something that needs to be avoided in companies because it's error prone. So retyping the same data, you can make errors, and that will lead also to the fact that you do not have real time information. So it's key now to know what's coming in, what I have on hand to do my production, and what is ready to be shipped in time to our clients. So maybe Guillaume, you have some examples for us.
Yeah, let's take a simple example like preparing an order, right? So order picking in a warehouse where traditionally, an order picker might take the prep sheet and run through the warehouse and assemble the sales order. He might confirm the quantities directly on the pick sheet, probably have somebody else double check the prepared order and sign off on it. And so this order is ready to ship, ready to go. But all my information is still on my paper sheet until somebody enters that information into the system, right? So some of the systems that you're able to incorporate will have not only real-time data entry, but also will give feedback to other actors in the business process, whether that be the customer or the CSR or the inventory manager. So not only are we trying to avoid a double data entry in having the data entry done manually on the paper sheet and then somebody else punching it in, but also we're trying to give more visibility and active visibility to everybody else that's involved. The whole idea here is to try to condense the timeline for which we go through these operations. And like I said, add visibility, reduce errors. And basically, everybody wins because as soon as you're able to do live intake of information, that means you're able to use that information for your profit. So, I think any type of operation where you're used to seeing paper entry or a paper process, or even just even if it's data entry on a computer, but it's not done live on the spot, then you're losing time and you're losing agility. So that's the whole idea here. This data entry, for example, if I have a transport management system or if I have a warehouse management system, they're all interconnected, and it allows me to, as I was saying before, inform every actor of the business process.
That's great. So let's see other stuff that an ERP will bring to the table. Like we said, so real-time visibility on inventory, sales, and production. Long-term data-driven decision. So we are going to do a short demo today, just a quick overview of some of the main screens for that are tied to logistics, inventory, purchasing, and follow-up. So with an ERP like Fidelio, you're going to be able to take the right decisions based on data and not act on fact. Also, streamline the entire supply chain, know where products are, get timely updates, as respond based on lead time and stuff like that. So it's really a great help. Plan with precision. So with your ERP, if you're able to have a forecast, know what you need in raw material in advance, what would be the load time on your equipment, on your lines, the staff that is needed. You're going to avoid slowdowns in production, probably avoid overtime if it's planned more adequately, and also you're able to consolidate purchases to save money. Make sure that you fill out a container, for example, to full capacity. So information system will help you to do that, as well as consolidate production and batches together to have less setup time, for example. So all that will lead to more efficiency. So if we are more efficient, obviously it's going to lower our cost and it's going to increase our margins. So again, Guillaume, anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah, I think these are all very good points. Some of these pertain a little bit more to a production environment. So let's look at another example. Whereas if I'm in a production environment and I'm used to confirming quantities, whether it be for my raw materials or my finished products, used to confirming quantities once again, either on paper or either just automatically, we always confirm the estimated quantities or the planned quantities as the ones that we're actually using. I'm losing out. I'm losing out on important data that will allow me to not only analyze long-term my trends, but also allow me to react quickly. For example, to sourcing problems from my raw materials or, to shortages for my finished products. So I'm able to react quickly because I know right away that, for example, I didn't produce the quantities I was supposed to produce this week and or today or this shift or this hour. And so I'm able to right away adapt and find a plan B or C or D for my sales orders, which we're waiting on these produced materials. So once again, it's just a matter of using that data as quickly as possible to react. And that's the recurring theme here is, being reactive and agile.
Okay, thanks, Guillaume. Another trend that is really it's a trend, so 3PL, third-party logistics, but the way to be more efficient with your 3PL partners with an ERP solution is that the technology, we are able to connect with those 3PL partners. And still, for you, it will be great because you will see the inventory that you have at your 3PL partners. You're going to be able to ship them orders for them to pick, prepare, and go deliver to your customers. The 3PL partner also will be able to send you back the proof of deliveries. So in that case, you will be able to automatically generate your invoices. So 3PL is really a great way to outsource activities as shipping, pick and pack, warehousing, procurement. So for example, you know that you're going to have a shortage on packaging material that you need. You don't have enough space in your own warehouse, so maybe it's time for you or any other ingredients or raw material that you need to maybe buy more and put that stock into a 3PL warehouse. So again, it will be there for you when you need it, and it avoids you to, maybe you don't have space or you don't have the capital to invest to, to expand your warehouse or stuff like that. So 3PL also can help you with inventory management, sometimes repackaging also. 3PL partners will do that. We talked about payment, shipping, and tracking. So it's really a great way for you to increase volume quickly and using a 3PL partner. But the best is to connect with your 3PL and your ERP. So in that case, you have really a 360 vision of what's going on. Guillaume, maybe you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I'm going to let you skip ahead to the next slide, but basically, what we're looking at here is advantages that give you more flexibility and that allow you to subcontract parts of your process or add flexibility for any type of challenge. I'm going to let you read these off and then we can touch back on them.
Yeah, sure. So key advantages. So advantage to face labor shortage. So if your 3PL can do the job for you, that's great. Get access to on-demand storage. So again, flexibility when you need it. Send customers order instantly to the staff in place so they can process them and being shipped afterwards. input the inventory and shipping information directly in your ERP with the connection between, for example, Fidelio and your 3PL partner, and always looking at an up-to-date status of your operation. So those are key advantages of 3PL.
Yeah, the idea, like I said, having a blow-off valve for relieving pressure on your supply chain, right? So, and adding flexibility just for resources, whether it be storage or whether it be, you know, manpower. So automating or subcontracting part of your process to a specialized partner, developing that trusted partnership, and you know, automatically relieving pressure on a certain part of your business process. So these are all, you know, key things that having a partnership with a third-party logistics firm might help you out with.
Okay, great. Something else that occurred on the supply chain is with the first slide we explained that, you know, increases in prices and all that. So of course, if the cost of raw material is going up, you have to make sure that you have a great tool to for yourself readjust your selling prices to maintain key margins of profit for your business. So that's why with an ERP system like Fidelio, you're going to be able to base your pricing on real-time costing information. You're going to be able to input the real cost of raw material in your ERP. Be proactive to make the necessary product pricing adjustment. You're going to be able to run different simulation scenarios based on formulas that you can create in the system. Update ingredient and finished good prices really with ease because all of those features will are managed in Fidelio, and things sometimes might not be done in real time is also to include all of the landed cost effects on the cost of a good that you're buying. And also, if you're buying offshore, to readjust that cost based on the exchange rate of the currency. So that are a couple of examples. Maybe Guillaume, you have some more stuff that you wanted to.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point you bring up on landed cost, especially in a world of nonstop surcharges. You know, what was my actual cost, and not just my supplier's price list, right? And it's one thing to say that you're on a cost plus basis for your sales pricing, but it's another one to say that your pricing is dynamic and automatically adjusts to your actual cost. And so, you know, building your pricing formula, taking into account all of these factors that you just mentioned, will allow you to keep it dynamic and keep it reactive. Whether you base it on, you know, your actual cost of inventory, or whether you base it on your next purchase cost, that's up to you. The whole idea is just being reactive and reacting quickly in order to maintain that margin, which is in F&B is very often a slim margin. So it's important to be quickly adapting all of our sales prices.
Other stuff that your ERP will be able to help you with is to diversify your suppliers, because with a great tool of MRP that's integrated in our solution, so you're going to be able to look maybe at more than one vendor at a time for the same ingredient, making sure that maybe in the delays, a supplier closer than to you will be able to deliver in time. Validate all of the scenarios that are possible. See in real time also the costs to make sure that even though you're going to cost you maybe a cent or two more, but you're going to have it in time, so there will not be a loss on production, for example. Also being able to optimize orders based on each supplier's criteria. So could be in volume, could be in dollars, could be a minimum of line items. So all of that, minimum order point, all of that can be also integrated in the solution. And easily also see if a supplier offers a discount while you're looking for stuff. So by adding those programs in the system, your buyer will see if something is coming to a discount, for example, being able maybe to buy more at that point to increase your margins and your profit. So it's really a key aspect to look for in an ERP. Again, Guillaume, something else that you wanted to add to
Yeah,
that?
just quickly, we all know the supplier selection criteria, right? So it might be pricing, it might be availability, quality, it might be a long-lasting relationship, lead time, any of those factors. The idea here is once again being reactive and taking into account all of these factors within my systems to give me quick decision making process, right? So that I'm able to adapt and move on to plan B or C quickly in order to source or maintain my supply chain efficient.
Yeah, that's great. Other integrations that we talked about 3PL earlier. Now, other integrations that we're doing now with ERP systems more and more, it's to integrate with TMS. So TMS stands for Transportation Management System. So it will help you to optimize your routes to have lower transportation costs. So if you have your own trucks, for example, if you are using transporters, those systems will help you find either the cheapest, the most efficient carrier for a given destination based on volume of shipment. By connecting the ERP with a TMS, all the information will be going both ways automatically. So again, less error, less mistakes, real-time information, and all the costs will be directly integrated in the ERP. So in your margins analysis, you're going to be able to plan better shipments, make sure that you're really shipping at the right cost for you. And all of your operation will be enhanced because those system will also allow you to notify customers while maybe the truck is their next stop, so they will be notified, for example. And do they need help to unload, or do they need a tailgate to go at that customers and stuff like that? So maybe it's in the details sometimes, but it's really, really, really efficient. And also plan on the operation because while the employees in the warehouse will be doing the picking, if a TMS optimized all the routes, it would be also optimizing the way we pick and the way we load the trucks. So really, really great solutions out there. Guillaume, maybe some examples?
That's a great point. We often neglect the effects of working with the TMS system on the rest of my operations. So the picking operation you just brought up, I think is very relevant. Using a TMS allows me to optimize my shipments and optimize my picking. So for example, whereas initially I might be picking different orders throughout the day, going by first in first out in terms of sales orders or whatever else, my order picking process might be different now, because what I'm looking at is, okay, FedEx comes at 11 and these are the specific orders I need to ship by FedEx. So now I'm able to optimize the space on my shipping dock and prioritize the right orders that I'll be shipping with FedEx for 11 o'clock. And then I'll move on to the UPS ones or the Puro later ones or the DHL ones later. And maybe I'll do the full pallets at the end of the day, something like that, right? So, technically what happens is I'm prioritizing the right operations in the warehouse. Time and money, who wins here? Well, we win because we maintain a profit margin. Once again, that's acceptable because I'm optimizing costs with my transportation. I'm optimizing stock movement in the warehouse, and secondly, the customer wins as well because, as you said, Michael, a lot of these TMS integrations will give real-time information and updates to the customer with tracking numbers and all of that, and it'll be linked in my software, so my CSR is able to answer any questions at all times related to order updates and shipping.
Great. Something that is really neat in Fidelio is we have an integrated customer experience web portal. So it's like having access to a CSR 24/7, 365. So with that web portal that is integrated with Fidelio ERP, customers are able to log in, update their information on their profile, but also see all of their transactions history, track orders, track deliveries, retrieve an old invoice, see their account statement. If when the good arrives at the customer, something's broken, they can also ask for a credit or ask for a return. So giving this access to your customers will increase the satisfaction that they have working with you because they always have information when they want it in real time. And also on the other hand, probably tons of calls that you receive each day are for those kind of questions. Where's my order? Is my order complete? Can you give me the tracking number of the transportation company that's shipping? Can you send me back that invoice? So probably with this, you're going to avoid tons of calls per day and adding and maybe moving someone from CSR to do more added value job in your company because the web portal will take care of all of those inquiries during the day. Guillaume?
Absolutely. What we're trying to do here is automate clerical work, simple question and answer work. It might help with staffing issues, or it might help with, as you said, concentrating on value-added activities like better inventory management or optimizing my supply chain, my sourcing, or whatever else, right? So, and what we're doing is keeping the information at the customer's disposal. So it's a self-serve kind of thing, and it's always available 24/7.
Yeah, yeah. So now time for a quick overview of our solution. So I'm going to switch now to my web browser to open up Fidelio. So I'm connecting now to the solution. What comes up is your dashboard. So dashboard will give you tons of information of what's going on with the upper part of your dashboard, what I call the action tiles. So tiles will give you information on maybe numbers that you want to track, for example, sales that you already invoiced today, or maybe transactions that you need to monitor, like your open production orders, or lot numbers that will expire, or also maybe transactions that you need to approve, such as sales order on credit hold. The bottom part of your dashboard will be other KPIs that would be more analytics, like your sales by customers, your open quotes, your back orders, maybe also you have blanket orders that you need to follow up. So all of the information is accessible quickly, simply by opening up a KPI, seeing the orders, double clicking on the sales order number to drill down that information from the KPI directly to access transactions, for example. But today we are focusing more on logistics. So we designed in our sidebar menu here all of the main processes that a company would manage on a daily basis. So today we're more talking about purchasing management, what we need to buy with our raw materials. So we can see that with Fidelio to run and see what we need to buy. It's really, again, all the information will be in one single screen. And we're also going to take a quick look on what we call our management, product management screen, where you're going to be able to see the trends. So what's going on with all of my products by warehouse. So if I'm looking for a specific warehouse also, I am able to, get to know what's going on with that specific warehouse and to see the trend with all of the activities. So I can, sort by or group by the information and get to know which product are doing great, which product are going up, which products are going down. So it's easy for me to group the information and see for a specific warehouse which product has more activity. And also, I'm going able to see the Pareto in sales for all of those products also. So getting to know which product are going up in sales and in revenue and in activity. So it's really quick. The system does all the math for you. And you, like we said in the PowerPoint, you're going to take action and make decisions based on facts. So maybe Guillaume, you wanted to uh, give us an example or to maybe explain how quickly explain how it's working in the system.
Yes, just quickly, we started off in the introduction by talking about the changing landscape for consumer behavior and how recent events have exacerbated those changes. It's made all these changes happen much more quickly, and we've been trying to react and adapt, right? So what we're looking at here is basically inventory optimization. So how does my product mix, and especially my product mix in my warehouse, answer to my sales and basically to my customers' needs? The two different methods of classification that you're touching on will give me an idea of product velocity and stock turn. So how quickly product is coming in and out of my warehouse, how quickly am I renewing my inventory, how many times per year am I renewing my inventory? And secondly, it'll give me an idea for a certain product within its own family, the volume of sales, right? So that's our Pareto function, the volume of sales. Now, these two things allow me to first, as I was saying, analyze my product performance and my product mix, my inventory levels. This will probably influence my inventory strategy. So my inventory strategy might be based on, certain min-max and ideally dynamic min-max formulas. And if I use some of the standard formulas which are available with Fidelio, that'll take into account my default supplier for every product and this default supplier's criteria. So whether it be lead time, cost per order, or inventory maintenance cost. And so ideally what I want to be doing is have a different, develop my strategy for different types of products, whether it be, my key products in my inventory or products for which I want to offer the best service level possible, and develop those formula in order to optimize my inventory level and have them react quickly. So when my supplier says, okay, I'm adding a new charge for every order you place, there's a $25 service charge. Well, that, if I update it in my product cards, then influences my min-max calculation and basically gives me the optimal purchase price, purchase size, and purchase frequency for these products. So all of a sudden, maybe a second supplier is more competitive than the first, or maybe it'll just change, how often I place my purchase orders for this supplier.
Exactly. And with so we showed you that the system will keep track of Pareto and classification and activity. And for the min-max, we also are gathering more actually 123 variables. So like Guillaume said, every stats or every data that is needed to generate and create a formula that will take into account everything such as volume, cost, standard deviation, drop shifts, transfers between warehouses, safety stock. So all of that is taken into consideration in order to generate and maintain formula. And also you have seasonality in Fidelio as well. So we know that sometimes items will be more popular during those months of the year, and then it will, maybe lower down at some point. So the system will also help you with that to make sure that you have the right stock at the right moment. And going back to the purchase management screen, so you can also see tons of information, and you can also take a look at more than one vendor at a time. So if I group now by product, I'm going to see like all of my items that I need to buy with all the vendors available. The one in bold will be my default vendor, but then I can take decisions to take into consideration lead time, costs, minimum order point, stuff like that to make a decision. And also the system will tell me why I need to buy the goods. So it's either for a sales order, for stock and sales order, because the system will also combine everything to make sure that I'm maximizing my order with that specific vendor. And as soon and in that case, if I want, I could be able to split the purchasing, saying I want to buy 200 from this vendor, and I want to buy 75 for this vendor. So it's easy, it's quick, and you have all of the information right there to take the right decision. I don't know, Guillaume, if you wanted to add some information about this screen.
Yes, that's perfect. Once again, just being able to see side by side all of my suppliers and reacting allows me to mitigate risk and basically adapt to demand from my customers, right? So all I'm trying to do here is have all my options readily available, have all the information at my fingertips so that I can take the right decision.
Yeah, exactly. And then yeah, go ahead.
All of these, sorry, just one more thing. All of these, all of these quantities here, the suggested quantities and all that, are based on my dynamic min-max, which are recalculated periodically. So it influences my purchase suggestions, and it allows me to take an educated decision based on, you were talking about seasonality, but any type of factor which might be changing demand, I can take into account with my dynamic min-max formula, and so it'll really directly impact the quantities that's Fidelio suggesting I buy.
Yeah.
Once again, in the changing demand landscape, what we want to do is try to react quickly. So maybe my sample size, where historically I might be analyzing demand on, the past year or the past 2-3 years of historical data, maybe now all of a sudden, I want to recalculate and use only a 3-month or a 6-month period, or divide my past 3 months by the previous 3 months before that, having 3-month over 3-month trend calculations, and so being able to react quickly. I think quarterly is probably a good sample size to use, and then comparing your quarterly demand versus the past year, for example, will give you a good idea of where you're going and how your demand is evolving.
Yeah, and another great feature that we have is here you have a small drop-down list that, again, to optimize logistics, is the system can split also your POs, for example, one per supplier, but one per supplier by warehouse with a automated transfer. So meaning that, for example, you have more than one site, you centralize the procurement to one site. You want to buy, it's going to come to your main warehouse, and then automatically the system can split by warehouse what you want, or either ask the supplier to directly ship to that other warehouse. So the system will take all these criteria in consideration for you to, again, optimize, make better decisions, and reduce time to get your raw material. Okay. So maybe a last one here, purchases follow-up. So again, being able to see by purchase order what is coming. Is there also a container involved? So maybe you want to track by container number to see if you have items and based on in the same container that you bought. You can also modify the dates. So if you had a notification from your vendor that shipping date or the date that you will receive the good will change, you're able to update that as well. And also update statuses for example, to let people know that maybe a PO is approved, it's in process, payment is required, it's in transit, it's delayed, it's on hold. So updating all of this information will also update all the other transactions in real time that are pending on that PO. So if it's a PO for a sales order, if it's a PO for a production, now everybody in the business is notified by the changes that you just made with your purchase follow-up tool. Something more that you want to maybe add, Guillaume?
No, that's great. I think, having the tool to easily keep my purchase orders updated, that's the whole idea here, because as I get updates from my suppliers, I want to keep every actor in my business process informed and be able to react accordingly. So having real-time data with real-time updates allows me to be agile and react quickly and move on to plan B or C or D.
Okay. So we're almost at the end. You can always go on our website to download your ERP selection kit. So it's kind of a white paper that we did to help you guys having all of the checklist and information and questions or whatnot that you might want to look for if you are in the process of selecting a ERP. And now is the time. If anyone has questions, we are more than open to answer them. So any questions, anybody? So maybe don't be shy. It's free. So again, thank you very much for attending. I hope that you enjoyed and it was good information that we provided you today with that webinar. Also, if do not hesitate to contact us. Like we said also at the beginning of the webinar, a replay will be sent out to you to review that webinar. So if there is no questions, maybe we'll wait another minute. So it was really a pleasure. I'll let Guillaume also maybe do a last citation or example or whatever.
Yes, well, I'd like to thank you, Michael. It was my first webinar with you and with our guests.
Yeah.
So thank you to everybody who attended. It'd be a pleasure to continue this conversation with you. So feel free to reach out and we can keep discussing. I think, just in summary, everybody's in the same boat. And so let's try to get the right tools and share good practices in order to react and be able to overcome.
Yeah. So no questions. Do not. Someone says thank you. Thank you very much, Ray. So you can go on comsoft.ca, send us an email, and it's going to be our pleasure. So thank you very much, everybody, for attending this webinar, and we'll talk to you next time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.